Toure of MSNBC went on the show Totally Biased, and he makes such a good point here, I had to share it with you. To me, I think this is the perfect embodiment of the challenge Black America faces. Listen.
I mean, it's just, this week has been a lot. Like, Barney's and Macy's arresting black people for shopping and paying for what they bought.
Well, here's one of the things that's interesting, right, is that, like, you know, we get so much talk about, like, wearing sagging pants, then the brother gets arrested for buying a belt.
Yes.
Like, what is going on? Shouldn't they be warning us to buy belts?
Yes.
Oh, that is such a good point. It hurts. And of course, he's referring to the recent situation where a young black, I believe, teenager went into Barney's and bought a belt. And it was a pretty expensive belt. And of course, the default mindset of everybody around him and the police officers was like, God damn it, he can't afford that. He's black. Arrest him. That's actually what happened. It's an amazing story. But the joke puts everything in perspective. It crystallizes it. Because that's exactly right. It's a lose-lose situation for young black men. If you don't buy a belt, you're a thug and your pants are sagging. If you do buy a belt, well, you're a criminal because you can't afford that belt. So what do you want them to do? What do you want them to do? Again, you've made it a lose-lose situation. And by the way, it's the same contradiction with work as well. So if a black man doesn't go to school, it's, oh my God, lazy, shiftless, useless, welfare junkie, queen, yeah, I hate you, lazy. But if a black man does succeed in school, it's, oh, affirmative action, baby, gets everything handed to him. So yet again, it's a lose-lose. If you work, it's because affirmative action, he made it. If you don't work, oh, he's lazy, what did you expect? And what I think a lot of white people don't get, especially police officers, is that what they've done is they've set up a self-fulfilling prophecy within the black community. So when you hear guys like Bill O'Reilly, as he often does, he'll go on overtly racist rants and talk about how, look, it's just the statistics. The statistics show that black people commit more crime. See, it's them. Yeah, but Bill, you're missing a huge piece of the picture, which is why? Why is that the case? And often what happens, I've told personal stories about this too, where I grew up in New Rochelle, in Westchester County in New York. What you had is very diverse schooling the entire time, but you had the north end of New Rochelle, which was largely well off financially, and the south end of New Rochelle, which wasn't as well off financially. And what you had is whenever there was a party in high school on the north end, not a single police car would drive by. Never. You could literally, as we did, do keg stands in the front lawn. It's fine. On the south side, if you're in your fucking apartment, being quiet, smoking weed, they'll bust down the door and arrest you. And the police are always patrolling on the south side. Why? Because they say, oh, there's more crime there. Yeah, but wait a second. Is there really more crime there? Or are you patrolling the streets and looking for more crime there? Because in your mind, you've already concluded that, well, they're black. They need to be doing something wrong. They're black. So it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where you're only looking for African Americans committing crimes, and you let the white kids slide on the other side of town. I'm telling you, again, this was my personal experience. I saw it happen with my own two eyes because I'm friends with everybody. And there's another great study that showed this as well, where black people and white people use drugs at the exact same rate. You know who gets arrested more for it? No surprise, African Americans, 4 times more often. 4 times more often when we use it the same rate. So then when somebody points out, well, hey, that might not be fair, all of a sudden, you know, they're dismissed. Oh, liberal making excuses for reverse racist. I've been called a reverse racist more times than you can. White guilt. No, it's not white guilt. I'm looking at the fucking data and I'm drawing a rational conclusion. And I haven't even brought up the fact that it was just in my parents' lifetimes that we had segregation legal. It was illegal. A lot of people don't get that. They think like, oh, get over it. It wasn't that long ago. It was the 1960s. It was in the 1980s that they finally allowed interracial marriages to happen in some states. What do you think, racism went away overnight? Of course it didn't. So there's overt racism, and there's also a lot of subconscious racism around the world. People don't even know they're racist, and they are racist. And that affects, if they're like a boss and they're hiring people, they're more likely to be tribalistic and go towards people who look like them. There are all these little subtle things.